And now a little bit more about our practice guides today. Bea is a longtime meditation practitioner and an MBSR teacher. And she met Insight Dialogue Teachings in 2010 during a retreat with Jan Surrey and Gregory Kramer, and later went on to become an interpersonal mindfulness teacher through the trainings of Phyllis Hicks and Florence Maleo-Meyer. And since 2021, Bea has been part of the second Insight Dialogue Teacher Development Cohort. And Bea is a psychiatrist working in a psychotherapy practice in Madrid, Spain. So welcome, Bea. Thank you so much. And Sandra is the founder and director of the Centro de Meditación Theravada, where she shares the Dhamma with the Hispanic public across the globe. And she began meditating in 2004 with teachers including B. Allen Wallace, Joki Nima Rinpoche, and Mingyur Rinpoche. And later, Sandra went on to spend 3 years practicing in the forest monasteries of Myanmar under the guidance of Sayadaw Tejaniya and Sayole Dipankara. And since 2020, she has been practicing Insight Dialogue under the guidance of the ID teachers Phyllis Hicks, again, and Gregory Kramer, and others. Sandra facilitates Insight Dialogue in Spanish together with the Insight Dialogue Spanish group. And as I say all that, I want to note that there is already so much generosity here, a deep bow of gratitude to both Sandra and Bea for offering this practice today in English. Thank you so much. And now I will turn it over to our practice guides today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita and Nancy. Thank you, all of you, to be here and to share this practice together. Maybe Sandra start with the first practice.
Thank you, Bea. And hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you all. We will start our practice with a short guided meditation. So please feel free to be in a comfortable position, whatever that may be for you. You can choose to keep your eyes open or closed. That's also up to you, whatever feels more comfortable. Let's use this time together to settle the mind, perhaps in what is present at this very moment. Maybe it can be the sensations that you are feeling, either your physical posture or the cushions in your body, the most obvious sensation at this very moment, what that may be. We can bring attention into it. And I will invite you to also notice your mental posture. How is the mind at this very moment? What is holding, what is not holding, if it's relaxed, tense. And breathe into that. It's a way to accept what is happening at this very moment. and noticing your physical posture and your mental posture without any judgment, just noticing them. And you relax both of them. Maybe by letting them go, or maybe paying attention into something that may you find relaxing, like your breath. We will use a couple of minutes just to pay attention into this relaxation, this letting go, by paying attention into the breath. As you pay attention into the breath, I would love to invite you to see if this relaxation is being accomplished or cultivating in some way. With this sense of generosity towards perhaps the brief relaxation that we gather together right now, I will now like to invite you to pay attention again into your breathing. And while you're doing that, perhaps opening your eyes if you have them closed. Perhaps first paying attention into the room where you are. Your sense of the body in hold. And now into your friends in the computer. Seeing those beautiful smiles. And with that said, I pass it on into Vega now. Thank you for your practice.
Thank you, Sandra. Welcome again, all of us here across the so many time zones. we want also to offer our gratitude to be here and to have the opportunity to say thank you to all the international Inside Dialogue community to have this opportunity to practice together. And we continue today this series of offerings about the practice of dana. This series of offerings that started in September, as Anita mentioned before, with Anita and Jan introducing this series. And after that, we had the opportunity to explore how the practice of dana is a means to overcome greed or anger or cruelty, or how the practice of dana is a means to liberation, to non-duality, or how the practice of dana sometimes flows easily and sometimes is challenging. And also we explore the right effort and dana. And we want to continue with this beautiful necklace of offerings. And now, in today's offering, we would like to focus on dana as the gift of sila, of ethical conduct. In this offering, there will be 2 contemplations, 2 small talks, and we will have time to share the fruits of the practice, if there is anyone. And Ajahn Sucitto said that all is dana, everything is dana. He said that we live in an universe of dana. I feel very beautiful this idea. This breath is dana, and this body is dana, and this time together now is dana. Our presence here is dana. The basis of the life is a gift. And if we can see our precious human life as a gift, maybe it could be possible to cut off the transactional mind, this mind that tell me, I give you this, but I expect in return you give me something more. This transactional mind that narrows the experience in I, me, mine. There is a beautiful way to name dana by Ajahn Sucitto that said, he said, dana is a living relationship of radical trust in people's goodness. Dana is a living relationship to radical trust in people's goodness. In Spanish, es una relación viva de confianza radical en la bondad de las personas. Confianza radical en la bondad de las personas. This is to say that dana is the foundation of sila or ethical conduct. The Dharma teaches us that there are 4 types of gifts. We know material, goods, shelter, medicine, And there is also many other gifts. And one of greatest gift is the gift of Sila, the gift of a life based on ethical attitude. And if we cultivate this gift, the gift of Sila, we allow that other people can trust us. It's the gift of spiritual friendship. Maybe we are all together breathing this gift now. One means of cultivating this radical trust in goodness of the other, confianza radical en la bondad de otros, is the commitment to the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts, the Anguttara Nikaya, one of the collection of the suttas of the Buddha, mention 5 great gifts. 5 great gifts, and they said, which have been held in high esteem since ancient times. And these great gifts is the observance of the 5 precepts. When we do that, we are giving the gift of safety, of love, of kindness to others, to all beings, not just human beings, but to all beings and to nature. The 5 precepts are not saying as prohibitions, but as intention based on do not harm, do not harm. And the master Thich Nhat Hanh enunciated these precepts in a modern language. He translated this in a modern language, and he talked about 5 mental training. And he said the first precept, renounce to kill. He enunciated that as protect the life, decrease the violence inside myself or inside society or the world. The second precept, renounce to take whatever is not given to take to you. For Thich Nhat Hanh is the practice of generosity and the practice of social justice, the practice to not exploiting other beings. The third precept, renounce to sexual misconduct. Thich Nhat Hanh say that as practice sexual responsibility, don't abuse of others. The fourth training, the 4 precepts, renounce to lie. Thich Nhat Hanh said, practice deep listening and loving speech, and restore communication if there is a conflict. And the last precept, the 5th precept, renounce to take intoxicants. Thich Nhat Hanh said, mindful consumption, practice the mindful consumption, renounce to bring intoxicants to this body-mind. And maybe we can see these precepts as relational practice. and true practice of compassion and wisdom. En Spanish, verdaderas prácticas de compasión y de sabiduría. Todas ellas son relacionales. Your very presence here is Dana. Our presence here is Dana. Tu presencia aquí es Dana. Mi presencia aquí es Dana. Today, we would like to explore the practice of the precept as a type of Dana. A Dana that is the universal gift of safety and protection for all beings, especially the most vulnerable beings. Our proposal for the first contemplation is to explore a little bit more how to offer this gift of safety in our life and now, here and now, during our practice in small rooms. Our contemplation is how can the gift of safety be offered now in this practice of insight dialogue? How can the gift of safety be offered now in this practice of insight dialogue? ¿Cómo puede ser ofrecido este regalo de la seguridad en esta práctica de diálogo consciente? And to explore that here and now, while co-meditating with a partner. For me, this means, for example, to offer a smile to my partner, perhaps refraining to give some advice or some recommendation is for me to give safety, or to give the presence with the deep listening, with the listening with your whole being. But how is to give safety for you in this practice? The structure of the practice will be in dyads and separate the speaker and listening. There isn't any open dialogue at the end of the 5 minutes. Each one will have 5 minutes to explore this contemplation. Please take care of yourself and don't share anything you don't want to share without forcing ourselves. And reminder of the guidelines. Explore this contemplation, supporting by the guidelines the pausing before, during, and after we are talking or we are listening, and relax any tension which will arise in some moments. Be very present in our practice together, because maybe the safety is one of the pillars of our practice together. And again, the contemplation is how can you offer the gift of safety now in this relational practice. If you lose connection, you can bring back to the main room. We will be here for you. And if there are no questions now, we are ready to go to practice to the small room. ¿Cómo puedes ofrecer el regalo de la seguridad ahora, aquí y ahora, here and now, in this relational practice, en esta práctica relacional? Pause, relax, open to this relational awareness, and may you enjoy your practice. If we are ready, Nancy, to go.
Welcome everybody again to the main room. In this second section of today's Sunday Sangha, we will again explore dana, generosity, in the form of sila, ethical conduct, or sometimes it's also translated as virtuous actions. Vega mentioned to us these beautiful 5 precepts that we will use again for the second contemplation. And in particularly, we're going to use the second precept, which is like the traditional form of that precept is refrain from taking what is not given to us. But in the version of the Master Thich Nhat Hanh, he modernized this precept, mentioning practice social justice, generosity, not stealing, and not exploiting other living beings. So this second version may talk to us more or may not. Choose whatever version feels that talks to you. Because in our beautiful Sangha, the sense of social justice may be different from one another, depending on our place of birth, where we live, gender, or past experiences. It really depends. So an interesting question there is how to practice this sense of generosity, this sense of social justice within our ID Sangha or our Sunday Sangha. There is a sutta, Vejana Sutta is called, where 2 Brahmas go and talk to the Buddha. This Brahma is supposed to be from the high class or high caste. And they're very old, they're men. And they mention to the Buddha that they indeed are very old. They have lived a life of luxury, but they haven't done any admirable deeds yet towards awakening. So they feel a little bit anxious because they're lacking of time. According to the sutta, they are 108 and 120 years old. So you see, they're really lack of time there. And the Buddha answered to them, indeed, you are very old. You have lived a life of luxury and you're running out of time to make admirable deeds. The first time I read that sutta, I find it incredible. I really like the sense of urgency there. Good. It's really track you into the path that the Buddha wants at the time. Like you are lacking of time. So with that sense of lacking of time, what can you, what is possible to done there, to perform? And I will read to you the exact words of the Buddha, or at least the translation of that. What he says to these two Brahmas was, when a house is aflame, the vessel salvage is the one that will be of use, not the one left there to burn. So when the world is on fire with aging and death, you should salvage your wealth by giving. What's given is well salvage. When you are restrained here in body, speech, and awareness, when you make merit while still alive, that will be for your bliss after death. When the world is on fire with aging and death, you should salvage your wealth by giving. What's giving is well salvage. This last sentence I will also mention it in Spanish. Cuando el mundo arde con el envejecimiento y la muerte, debes de salvar tu riqueza practicando generosidad. Lo que se da, se salva. So having that in mind, what is possible to give is what is actually being safe. Especially when you are running out of time, like these two Ramos. We will go now into our next contemplation, which is how to relate to the external wealth in a way that cultivates the internal wealth of generosity. We'll mention it again. How to relate to the external wealth in a way that cultivates the internal wealth of generosity. And here, I would love to invite you to use the guidelines. At this moment, for instance, just to pause and see what this contemplation is doing with your mind right now. Because if you have a mind like mine, normally the mind likes to give an immediate answer. And if you can relax into that reaction of whatever is happening at this very moment, with this sense of relaxation, perhaps there is opportunity to open to the experience on itself of having a contemplation in the mind right now. And with that, to see the process as it is. It's actually not personal. It's just a process of the mind. And it may change when you go with your partners in diets. The answer that you have right now may be changed then. So can you attune to what is emerging and listen to what is there, what is happening right there? Feel free to listen and also sharing the truth that feels safe to share with your partner. We will go in diets. And the second speaker now is going to be the first speaker. So pause, relax, open, attune to an emergence, which is the fun part, according to me at least. Listen deeply and speak the truth. Enjoy. Welcome everybody again to the main room. I'm seeing a lot of happy faces. So Bea and I, we choose to offer this Sunday Sangha related to generosity in the form of sila, safety, particularly to your community or Sangha or ID Sangha. First, by contemplation, how can you offer safety to your partner? And then how the external wealth can make you practice internal wealth of generosity. So this is our time to share the fruits of these two contemplations. What feels right to share, or what you feel inspiring to share. How this relationship between dana and sila, generosity and ethical conduct, may support your practice and the practice of our Sangha as well. So please feel free to share whatever is alive at this moment, using again the guidelines that are the ones that support our practice. To pause, relax, open, attune to emergence. Listen deeply and speak the truth. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
May there be peace. Que haya paz. May there be peace.